Hey guys, Pat over here at Fellsmere Fishing Headquarters with another fishing report. And we got some awesome guests to chime in. Mr. JT Kenney. JT, thank you so much for joining us, brother. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no worries. We've been fishing a lot lately, so this is going to be interesting for me to hear from some of the other guys too, kind of jive together and see what's happening.
That's what it's all about, brother. Yeah. And you've been fishing several lakes, and that's why this is awesome that you're here. And we've got some great friends here, man. I mean, some guys that are some great fishermen as well. The boys are from Maryland.
Yep, Herb Whiteman.
Oh,
yep,
Herb, man.
Herb, give your company a plug with the Boat Works.
Anglers Works, yep. Guide up on the Susquehanna River, yep. You want smallies? Come see me.
Good fish. Good fish. JT knows something about that.
My man Marcus.
Good old Marcus.
Absolutely.
Dylan,
give a shout in there, brother.
Northern boys.
That's right.
Yeah, we got some northern flavor today.
That's right. That's what's so great about this time of year, man. And some people complain about the crowded boat ramp and all the people that are on the lake, but a lot of us love it because we get to meet so many different people. And me personally, I learn from the guys from up north because I'm born and raised down here, dude, and I know how to fish down here. But when it comes to winter time and the bite gets tough, these guys from up north, they know how to finesse fish. Me, I'm not a good finesse fisherman, and most of us fellas down here in the south, we're not good finesse fishermen. So I love to listen to these guys and learn stuff about finesse fishing because that's what it takes to catch these fish during these cold fronts.
Yeah.
And JT, let us know something, man. We want to learn something.
I'll tell you one thing right off the bat, and you hit it, and it's something that I've tried to say to a lot of people. You talked about the crowded boat ramp.
Yeah.
That is the point. The boat ramp here definitely does get crowded sometimes, like really from like middle of January till the end of March, the boat ramp's crowded. What I want everybody to realize is the lake is not crowded at all.
Correct.
They purposely built a small boat ramp, which now has a huge overflow parking area, but they purposely built a small boat parking area so the lake wouldn't get overcrowded. What I don't think anybody realized was how much actual habitat, most importantly Headwaters has. When you think about it, it's a 10,250 acre lake. It's all habitat, right, guys?
Right.
Like the whole thing.
It's a jungle.
From
It
the north
is.
end
It's
to
a
the
jungle.
south
The
end.
whole thing. So it's not like a normal lake where a lot of the people maybe watching this video are from up north. They think of, you fish around the bank or maybe 100 yards off the bank, and that's the fishable cover, and the whole middle of the lake is barren.
No.
Wrong.
Right.
That's not what our lakes are like down here, and particularly Headwaters. It's 10,000 acres, right, of actual fishable cover.
Yeah.
It's not so. You could put 7,000 boats on
And
Headwaters
you
Lake.
might see 20 of them.
Right, and you might,
Right.
if there was 7,000 out there, you'd see 20 all day.
Right.
Like if you get there right at daylight in the morning, and when we say it's crowded, you might have to wait for 6 or 7 or 8 boats. It's not like you're at Gunnersville where you're waiting for 45 minutes to put in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
It's,
exactly.
it's not that. So when we bring up crowded, it's not crowded like, once again, to bring up Gunnersville, which is an awesome lake to fish, but it's not like 6 of you are going just right behind each other down the same grass line.
Right.
It's not like that.
No, not at all.
It's completely different. And we have so many lakes, like you're talking about, a little bit of a fishing report for today. I was out with some buddies on Three Forks, which is a little bit kind of on the north end of, where Stick Marsh, Garcia, Headwaters, all of those. And man, we had a great day today. We caught probably 45 fish, all on artificial. We caught some, we've had a lot of rain.
Yep.
So we fished some of those little neck down areas where there's some current flowing. We caught some fish doing that. We caught a lot of fish on chatterbaits on lily pads out on the flats. Like they were doing a lot of different stuff there, but the water level's definitely high there, and I think pretty much the rest of I know it is.
Everywhere,
I know it is on
Everywhere you
Headwaters.
go.
I haven't been on Garcia in about 6 weeks, but I'm sure it's all the same chain of lakes, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure the water's a little high. But like I said, we had a great day today on Three Forks.
That's
Nice.
awesome. That's
Nice.
awesome.
That water's up a good foot.
Or more, probably a foot and a half.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least. And JT, for these guys that are, there's so many guys that are here to fish Headwaters, and they're coming to me, and I don't get a chance to get out there a whole lot because we're busy at the shop, but I listen to what everybody says. A word of advice to some of these guys that are down here as far as depth, coverage, baits.
So I haven't been on Headwaters in probably 5 days, but it's been kind of cold. Today it warmed up. Next few days it's really going to warm up.
Absolutely.
On the north end of Headwaters, on both the east side and what I'll call the main side,
Right.
I definitely saw, like I said, 5, 6, 7 days ago, before that really cold snap came through, some fish on beds. Now, I didn't see any great big giant ones,
Right.
but I definitely saw some fish on beds. But like, and I'm going to Headwaters tomorrow. I got a couple friends from Alabama are in town. I'm going to be looking. I'm kind of going to be transitioning out of those deeper canals and stuff like that,
Yep.
and kind of getting up on the flats proper,
Looking for the
and
beds.
looking for areas where there's heavy hydrilla next to open, clean water, and they'll spawn in those clean water openings, but next to the hydrilla. I don't think right now there's going to be a whole lot of fish physically spawning, but that's what's on their mind.
Right.
They're going to those areas where they're going to do that stuff. So I would definitely be on the flats where there's thick grass and open water kind of next to each other, and that's where I'm going to be. And probably I'm going to be kind of in that general area of the north end of the lake. That seems to me, when they go to start spawning.
Yeah.
It is that north end to me,
I'm
and
telling you,
especially
not-
early in the spawn.
Yes.
Like right now, I think we're early. You hear a lot of people talk about fish spawn in January in Florida. They do,
Right.
but that's not the meat.
Do you think that,
Right.
That's not the meat of
that
our
northern
spawn.
end? You
Right.
think those fish will load up together?
I think they do, yeah.
Because I come down here twice a year.
Sure.
And I find those lily pad areas.
Hmm?
They come because it's hard bottom.
Yep.
And they just congregate on those
Yep.
spots.
But before
And there
they
could be
spread out and actually
there
make
could
their
be 3
beds.
million of them in a lily pad field, and there's some donkeys in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
matter
it's
of
a
fact,
mix. You
yeah.
know, it's a mix. You know, there's
Absolutely.
2, a 7, a 5,
You
an
never
8.
know.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And they're ready to eat.
Oh, yes.
Captain Chad had an artificial trip today, and he was doing the same thing. He was looking for beds, and he did catch a 7-pounder today off the bed.
Right. Well,
So
like
they-
I said,
they were there.
when I was going, I wasn't like really trying to look for beds. And now, don't get me wrong. If I see a fish on a bed, I'll stop to fish for it.
Right.
But I just know when I start seeing some beds, like I know I'm in the right general area.
Right.
You know, and I'm
Right.
throwing a a net bait mega bopper, swimming worm, chatterbait, something like that where I can cover some water. And then when I start catching them on that, and like once again, not necessarily throwing right at a bed I can see, but just kind of, dude, some of the biggest ones I've caught spawning are ones I didn't ever see.
You're just in the
You know what I
area.
mean? You're just in the right
You're
area,
just in the
and when you really start getting bit on that chatterbait or something or a slim jig, then slow down and pick up a stick worm and just 1/8 ounce weight, just bomb it out there on 17 or 18 pound line. Just drag that thing in. Yeah, and you didn't see that fish. Now he was on a bed, but you didn't see it. Just toonk, and you ease down on him. I mean, just you do that like this, flick your eyebrow and cross it. Whack! I mean, that's when I catch the biggest ones. Like I said, I've caught some big ones looking at them, but I catch way more bass spawning in Florida.
I agree.
Just getting in the right area and just fan casting around and just dragging a stick worm back.
Love it, man. Thank you so much, JT. We appreciate that. Steve, what's going on with stick marshals? I know you've been wearing them out.
Well, I only got 2 things going on right now that I really want to talk about that's going to help some folks out, I think. First thing, I'm going to get the small fish out of the way, the eating fish, because a lot of people like to eat fish. I'm on the spec right now. The spec bite is unreal right now.
I like it.
It's unreal. I'm taking 2 and 3 people out at a time. We're limiting out 50 to 75 crappie, 25 a person, jacking them on artificial.
Nice.
No minnows,
Yeah.
artificial. And there's some freaking slabs. So they were in deeper water. They were in that 10 to 12 foot deep water for a long time, for like a month. And all of a sudden, I went out there one day and I caught like 5 fish and they were gone.
Yeah.
Boom. So I go to the first little area that I can think of and I find them shallow. And they're stacked on top of each other. On top of each other. It's every cast. So if anybody's looking for some spec action, let me know. Headwaters, artificial, Egan Lake, the ditches, there, if you get south of the main ditch, there's no grass hardly. There's hardly any
Not very
grass.
much.
But if you get in them ditches, ride that ditch, What are bass gonna find if there's no ditches
If they find-
or
they find-
grass?
What-
Reed heads.
Yeah, that's where they're gonna go. That's
Reed
the,
heads.
That's the next most logical
Isolated
thing.
reeds and reed heads. We've been blasting them on chatterbaits. Blasting them on chatterbaits, and some decent sized bass, anywhere from 5 to 8.5 pounds.
Right.
And just like you said, they're sliding up on those dirt mounds and everything else.
Yeah.
They're sliding up on them.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
The East Lake, same deal. The East Lake has a series of small ditches. If you use your graphs, you will fall into those small ditches. When you fall into a small ditch, look left, look right. If you have a hyacinth mat there, punch that mat. Flip that worm in front of it. Those fish are setting right there in those recesses,
Yep.
right up on those
I know
flats.
exactly what you're talking about. We were doing it the other day. Any place where there's a hyacinth mat
Yes.
over that little bit deeper water, and the mat was over top of that,
You got
it was insta bite every time you
Yes.
punched through there. Boom.
Bam.
Yep.
Steak Marsh, southeast corner, they've been moving a lot of water, stuff like that. A lot of people know that. That's a great bite there. If you get a chance to do that, treat yourself to that bite. There's a great bite, it's a fun bite, you're gonna get a lot of bites. If the water's not running, those fish don't just vacate the area, they're there. They slide up on the sides under those mats. You can punch those mats, you can flip shiners up there, let those shiners swim under those mats. Come to the shop here, in Fellsmere, and get you a $100 bag of fun. Go out there and just rack on
You're
them.
gonna
You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, just go out there and rack
Yeah.
on them. So I had a trip today, Pat, shiners.
Yeah.
We caught 65 bass today. 65. Steak Marsh and Headwaters. The biggest one we had was 7.8, but we had a lot of 6s and 5s as well. So it's been good. It's been good. The fish are biting. Come see us. Come see us. It's great right now.
Absolutely. Oh, I was just gonna, a lake we don't touch on a lot, is Keenville. And, that's one that I know,
We went over there on
you guys were
Monday.
there
On Monday.
Monday, right.
Yep, and it was a little dirty.
Yeah.
It was a little dirty.
Conditions aren't ideal there
And
right now,
It
but
was choked a little bit. It was areas where it was really choked. And
And
I
no
don't like
giants
fishing that
live
place
there.
when it's choked.
They live there.
I don't know where them fish go, but they just don't want to roam. You know what I mean? They get hunkered down in that shit, and they just,
I was over there about 2 weeks ago, and the South Lake was definitely cleaner than the North Lake.
Yes, agreed.
North Lake was
Absolutely.
The North
Dingy.
Lake
It was dingy.
To me, it was dirty.
Right, for you, yeah.
Yeah, the North Lake was dirty.
Yes.
And sometimes
I agree.
dirty's good.
And I
but
even
not
told
like
these guys,
that.
I said, I
it
don't
was
want
dirty.
this.
But the South there.
Well, you're a dirty son of a gun. So
Right,
you-
exactly. That's but that South Lake was definitely, it was definitely a little cleaner.
And that place you go could be magical.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I heard the east side. You guys were fishing along that east bank in that trench right there, and there was a couple guys that did do well, but that's the best report I've heard on Keenville in quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was
Garcia,
like I said, it was
Garcia's fishing
good.
really good.
Garcia's
Yeah.
Garcia's
Caught some
clean.
fish out there today.
A lot of good fish there.
Yep.
Spinnerbait's a big deal out there for us on Sunday. Punching mats and throwing a spinnerbait. So Garcia's, I think it's gonna be great this week.
Yeah.
This
You
weekend.
know, like about. It's probably been about 4 weeks ago now, but I was out on Garcia and I had a really good day out there around that pit that's out in the middle of it. So and those fish have probably moved by now, but I mean they're there. Like we had a good day. Like our best 5 probably weighed high 20s, like a really good day.
Yeah.
So and I'm not saying I can go out there and do it again, but I mean that day
That day was good.
it was good. So I mean they're there.
There's a lot of good days like that. I mean, we had a lot of 30-pound bags just 2 months ago out of there. 23 with Scott Carpenter last week or week before last. There's good fish in Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
think there's not, guys.
And there's a ton of speck in there too.
That's right.
You gotta get, that's all, you got speck on your mind now.
Man, I can't help it.
That's all right. I like them
Speck
too,
is a sexy fish, buddy. I don't care what anybody says. I love those
especially when
fish.
it's on the plate.
Yeah.
You got it right there. They look extra crispy is perfect.
That's right. Hey guys, we want to thank JT Kenney a lot. We want to
Thank
thank
you.
the boys from
Yeah, man,
Herb
up north,
and-
yep.
Yeah, Herb and the
Thanks,
boys.
JT,
Yeah.
appreciate it, man.
For their time and their information and guys, if we could just take 1 second, I just want to mention there's a very good friend of the fishing community. His name's Dave Tripp. He passed away last week. A real diehard bass fisherman. He was 70. I think he was about 76 years old. Fished all the time when I was a kid growing up on Okeechobee, and just a real great man. And you know, we're gonna have a little ceremony for him on Lake Garcia. It was one of his favorites. You know, prayers to Mr. Dave Tripp, and we're really gonna miss him a lot.
Amen.
Guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate you, man. Like and subscribe for us. We'll keep the videos going. And thanks again to JT Kenney and the Maryland boys.
Appreciate you, bud.
Go ahead.
Can't
Love you,
see
Pat.
Love you, boys.
Mikey.